What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 128 of Park to Prem here with the England national team. Today, folks, we have some World Cup qualifying action for you. Yes, of course, it's been a little while since we were last here with the national team. In fact, the last time we were here was way back in 2032 for the opening games of the Nations League, which, well, it feels like a bit of a lifetime ago now. I didn't ever really cover these games in too much detail, but the Nations League is just a glorified friendly league. The FA didn't really have any expectations. I used it as an opportunity to experiment, to bed in some youngsters, and ultimately I believe we can have a little look at the standings here. We finished second in the group behind France, which, on the one hand, you know what, it was fine, the FA didn't really care. On the other hand, we lost to France in the Euros. I would have loved to have beaten them. But anyway, we now shift our focus to the World Cup, and there is a World Cup next summer. So, yeah, there's quite a lot on the line, and you can see here, this is how our group looks and who is in our group. Now, we played already the Czech Republic and Austria, and we've had two convincing little wins. The first of these was against the Czech Republic. It finished 3-0. Sonny Best, he didn't score, but he did get 2 assists in this game. The first from a Mason Greenwood header on a corner. We then had Mahon with a tidy little finish into the bottom corner, and then he got a second assist in this game for Finn Smith as he smashed it into the top corner. It's kind of one of those assists where I'm not entirely sure the assistee can take much credit, really. Anyway, following on from that, we took on Austria, and they are one of the big dogs in this group. In fact, they are the team who are second seed behind us. And it was a convincing 2-0 win. Ashley Walker with both of the goals. The first, a bit of a stealing of the ball on the halfway line. He broke away and tucked it home. And the other, really tidy finish from a set piece. And, well, 2-0, it finished. So, yeah, we've not conceded yet. We've scored 5. Today we have 2 games coming your way. We've got Armenia, who currently sits second in the group, and Belarus. Now, the reason for doing these games is kind of, well, it might feel a little self-explanatory, I feel. Basically, with it being the summer, I thought it was a good time without interrupting the Tau Law season to come back. And also 2 home games for Armenia and Belarus. We should be winning both of these, and Sonny Best, if he's going to score in any game, it's probably going to be one of these 2. So, considering all of that, I am going to draw a line in the sand, everyone. I have given Sonny Best, if we just look here, I've given him 7 chances to score for the national team. If he doesn't score in today's episode, he's not coming back. If he does score, he's not coming back. This is his final chance on the international stage, the 32-year-old, because he is hindering me enough. I've been patient with him. We'll see what he can do. Anyway, just a little look, if we just switch to my national team view, you can see here we have a few different players. Sonny Best still not at a club. Dylan Turnbull still, of course, the only Town player in the national team, although I have been a little tempted to bring in Deacon. The rest of the team is somewhat settled, actually. Alvin John has emerged as our first choice keeper. He is the Manchester United goalkeeper. Now, if you watched our game against Manchester United that we commentated this year in a Tau Law Tan episode, you'll know he made a few mistakes in that game. He's not quite done the same thing on the international stage, fortunately. At the back, I talked about this before, but defensively, I was always a little bit worried about our team here, just because we had some older players and I needed to bed in some youngsters. And 2 youngsters who have really made a name under my leadership are Chris Turner, a right back who has played pretty much every league game for Tottenham. Only missed a handful of them in the end, but at 20 years old, he looks like a really bright spark for the future. And also Ryan Lemmer, who this year has emerged as one of Arsenal's leading centre-backs. He's 22 years old. He doesn't have the craziest potential, but to be honest, he's just really athletic, very good technically, and consistent, and enjoys big matches. 2 things which are pretty useful with the national team, because it feels like you play more big matches than perhaps at club level. Anyway, a little bit of experience in the defence. We have, of course, Declan Rice here, playing for Manchester United. This will probably be his last hurrah with the national team, this World Cup campaign. A bit of much-needed experience, I suppose, in the team. And then at left-back, we have Ryan Fry of Chelsea to complete our back four. A very, very good player. At club level, he plays as a winger, but he is, as you can see here, natural at left back, and he is just an insane complete wing back. Again, consistent, enjoys big matches. 2 things that I really do value when it comes to the national team. Of course, just as a reminder, the system that we are using is the old 4-4-2. It's a system that suits us really well, particularly just because we don't have a great deal of insane centre mids. But in the wide areas, we are very, very blessed. And well, there's one wide midfielder who we should probably talk about, Jadon Sancho. 33 years old now, his physicals are still pretty solid. They have slowly but surely started to fade away over the last 6 or 12 months. He has had his fair share of injury worries as well, which is always something you have to be a little bit mindful of. Very often at international level, you're playing players with quite low fitness, so that injury risk always feels increased. Fortunately for us, when he's got injured, it's been for Real Madrid, and we've been able to, draft in someone else in as an alternative. In the centre of the midfield, Watson and Hall have kind of locked these two positions down. Greg Watson, I feel like this guy is he's going to be here for a long time. He's so good as a deep line playmaker. 23 years old, loves big matches, and you can see here just a really, really well-rounded player. An oddly satisfying polygon as well. It's like a bloated square. Alongside him, we've got Hall, who plays for PSG, one of a few players not to play in the Premier League in this team. An extremely athletic centre-mid. He has 36 caps and 12 goals. I really, really like him. He does a lot for us in that kind of companion centre-mid position, particularly because he is just that little more athletic than Watson. Anyway, out on the right, we have Ashley Walker. You guys know this man by now. He has haunted us in the Town or Town universe, but 28 years old for the England national team, we get to enjoy him ourselves, and he has been very, very good for us, playing both up top and out on the right-hand side. And then in the striking positions, we have David Mahon, who actually hasn't had the best of league seasons. I'm tempted to drop him, having realised that. He actually makes Dylan Turnbull look like he's had an incredible league season by comparison. I will say the striking department is definitely one of our strongest areas of the pitch. We've got players like Mason Greenwood, who at 31 is still more than capable of doing a job. An incredible, incredible player. Of course, we've seen in the last live con we did with England, he can also score a fair few goals. We've got Wolfenden, who also plays for Manchester United like Mahon, but unlike Mahon, actually scores goals. He has 16 to his name this league season. And I'm trying to think if there's any others now. Of course, there's Sonny Best. I feel like Sonny Best is occupying a striker spot. It's perhaps worth acknowledging that. The other option actually is just to bring in Walker and then bring in, out on the right-hand side, potentially Jude Bellingham, who is a very, very good player. It's weird, right? Jude Bellingham is a 16-year-old when you start the game. And while so many real players have now retired, at 29 years old, he's still kind of in his prime, oddly enough. You can see he's played super regularly for Real Madrid over the last few years, always consistently putting up good numbers. Perhaps a few slightly below average seasons. Actually, no, I say that. The last season's not been his craziest, but still very, very good. Was signed for £99 million back in the day. Anyway, in terms of other players we've got on the bench, of course, we've got Dewhurst as a bit of experience as an alternative goalkeeper. Also Colin Cousins, who has been tearing it up with West Ham in the Championship this year. 14 clean sheets for him. I feel like England traditionally has a Championship goalkeeper in its national team. Maybe 10 years ago I'm speaking here, but it's something that's happened before. Maybe he's our Robert Green. I'm not entirely sure. Elsewhere in the team, we've talked about Mahon. We've got Noah Kenny, who is another real player, was actually signed by Chelsea this year in real life for £60 million. I say in real life, I mean in the in-games real life. It's phrasing. He was signed for £60 million in the club universe from Brighton for Chelsea. He's good, but he's not putting good numbers at all at a league level. He's only started 8 games as well. So with that in mind, I can't justify starting him. Got Liam Brennan, who's another potential centre-back option. I feel like he's the kind of player who, if we were to get some incredible wonderkid centre-back, may be the first to make way. I feel like centre-back is still kind of where we lack players the most. Alexander-Arnold's legs are starting to fall off to a point where I don't think he'll ever really start for us super regularly. But as far as experience goes, it's pretty blooming useful to have around. Steve Goodwin, of course, plays for Norwich. We played against him in the last episode that we did, and I mentioned the fact he's on the England stage. He's a good little right back, but I don't really hope to start him. Carl Allsop has been a recent recall, I guess, to the national team. He's 28 years old, English centre-back. Not the craziest by any means. He's not a ball-playing defender. He is a defender. He does his defending and he lumps the ball clear for someone else to do their job. He's fine, you know. And then we've, of course, got Sonny Best. And that's the team. So the team on the whole has some pretty nice balance. You know, I've been really impressed by Lemmer and Turner coming up through the ranks. I also feel like with Alvin John, who's only 23 years old, we do now have a long-term goalkeeping solution. When I inherited the team, There was an over-reliance, in my opinion, on some slightly older players. Players like Alexander-Arnold were playing every single game. There were players like Phil Foden who was playing super regularly. You may notice that Phil Foden isn't here. He is perhaps the player who would come in for Sonny Best. However, Foden has been telling Andre to come and join Man City from Town. So with that in mind, I was like, you know what? If you're going to try and prioritize my players at club level, you're not getting a chance on the international stage. I don't know if that's immoral or not. Anyway, the first game we have here is against Armenia. I am not going to start Sonny Best in this game. I'm going to hold him in our back pocket, potentially to come on as a sub, or potentially to come on against Belarus in the second game here. If we could get 2 more wins, it would be absolutely fantastic for the start of our kind of just campaign with this World Cup. Of course, we are the England national team. There's an expectation on us as one of the best teams in the world to just, automatically qualify for the World Cup each and every year without losing a game. It's something that I would certainly like to do, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy, so we'll see how we get on here. Armenia at home, though, it's not the most scary of games. In some ways, I wish that, the Austria game had been over this summer period, so it would have been easier to live com. But at the same time, I feel like it's worth giving you a little glimpse into how the national team is going. And well, here's Dylan Turnbull, Town hero, doing what he does at club level. He shoots wide of the mark. He can't even hit the target, bless him. Not the best of efforts there. I have just noticed that Austria are 2-0 up against Belarus already. So that bodes well, I suppose, knowing that we've got to play them next. We've beaten Austria 2-0, they're beating Belarus 2-0, so by all that football math, we should be beating them 4-0, right? If only football worked that way. Anyway, Jude Bellingham with the wide ball in the wide areas gives it to Sancho, and well, it's 2 of the few real players left in the team linking up the 2 inverted wingers from one side to another. It's a bit like watching DKM and, who was the guy who played on the opposite wing to DKM? It's awkward that I can't remember. It's like watching DKM for Town in the non-league levels. The same system. Coming up trumps. Lovely header by Sancho. We get our noses ahead. It's a bit of a shame it's taken 22 minutes, but hey, we've done it. Although we do need to defend here. Alvin John collects it. I do feel like he has got a howler in him. I mean, we saw him do 2 howlers against Town this season. But for England, as I've already mentioned, he's not put a foot wrong yet, and he collects the ball well there. And now we can launch an attack as Sancho breaks through, shoots, hits the woodwork. Almost hit the keeper on the back and ended up in the back of the net somehow. Unfortunately for us, in hitting the keeper, it meant that we couldn't latch on to the rebound. They've not had a shot yet, and it's half an hour gone. I feel like the fans, they might be getting a little impatient here at Wembley. They'll be expecting a few more goals. Can Turner deliver from the wide areas? Wait. I don't have Sonny Best on the pitch. Right, give it to Dylan. We've got a penalty. We have a penalty. If only Sonny Best was on the pitch, I'd bring him on. Instead, Dylan Turnbull, he has 4 goals in 6 international caps. Can he make it 5 in 7? He steps up. Sonny, come on now, mate. Just come on now. He's not even hit the target from the penalty. So with that in mind, Sonny Best, onto the pitch you come, my friend. Some would say that's premature at 1-0. Don't care. Dylan's let me down. You've got to be cruel to be kind. I'm going to haul him off after 30 minutes. It's part of the Jose Mourinho school of love here. This is how I treat my players. This is how I gain their respect. Bully them. Anyway, Sancho bursting down the line. Sonny, get in the box, my friend. I mean, it could be square to him here. Whips in. Bellingham heads it over. As I already said, this is Sonny Best's second to last ever game to score for England. He's not getting another chance after this international set of fixtures. I think the only reason he's not retired yet is because he's in the national team. Anyway, Sancho. I mean, Sonny Best is there, but he's not getting forward particularly quickly. Could he get on the... he's not getting on the rebound, Jack. He's 20 yards away, you wazzock. I mean, we're knocking on the door. Can Armenia let us in? I would love to get a second goal just to get a little more comfortable. Right now, it does feel kind of finely poised to this game, despite how dominant we've been. Unable to find a breakthrough. They've got to throw in their own half here. We're looking to box them in from the back. Oh, they beat the initial press. Can we do anything here? We can. It falls to Fry, who bursts forward, the left back. He'll probably have a go here. He loves a shot. I mean, It's like he saw Sonny Best ahead of him and he thought, you're not good, mate. You're not going to score. I'll do it on my own. We've all been there. If you played junior football at any level, you had that player who thought he was better than everyone else and so he wouldn't pass even if someone else was in a better situation. Then when he scored, you know, because he scored, he thought that it was the right thing to do. That is Ryan Fry right there. Sonny Best is in tears. The left-back decides, you know what, I am a winger at club level. I want to show you what I'm all about. Scores it, and, well, we have another chance here. Was that the woodwork smashed? It may well have been. It's only going to be 2-0 at the break. And that's, I mean, it's not really good enough, is it? I'm going to get shouty about that. I don't want to lay any pressure on you, Sonny Best, but you've got 135 minutes to get a goal for England. Anyway, Sancho over the free kick, hits it, bends it into the side net. And for a second I thought it was going to fall to Sonny Best for a rebound. Unfortunately, not the case. Ball whipped in this time. I mean, I appreciate the players trying to pick out Sonny Best on corners. He's not known for his aerial ability, really. Whipped in, Walker's there, it's 3-0. Lovely assist by Ali Hall, the PSG centre mid. And Ashley Walker, we made a bit of a late call just to play him up top. He is a very good striker. He's great in the air. He's almost a bit wasted on the wings with how good he is in the air. He didn't deal with our first set piece. It came back out wide. We recycle possession. 3-0 against Armenia. I've got to say, just while we're here, I really like Armenia's flag. I feel like a lot of countries' flags, this is a tangent, a lot of countries' flags use the same shades of red, white, blue. Not looking at you, France, Netherlands, Thailand, I mean, the UK flag as well, Jack. Sorry, Armenia's flag uses lots of unique shades of colours that you don't find on other flags. And I respect that uniqueness, as Ashley Walker doesn't respect Armenia. It's 4-0. Please tell me someone knows what I'm talking about here. I just feel like it's nice to see some variety in the shades. I can't think of any other flag that has that shade of orange/yellow. It's a yellow. It's like a gold. I'm sure someone's now going to find a flag that has the exact same shade. Don't ruin it for me. Anyway, we're 4-0 up. We should probably make a few more subs here just to save some players' legs. Watson's a little bit tired. Let's bring in Alexander-Arnold at centre mid. He can play deep line playmaker where he doesn't need to run around so much. And we'll take off Bellingham, I think, for not for Jadon Sancho, for David Mahon. Just because there's a few players lacking a little bit of condition. Of course, it's been the end of a very long season. Many players have been playing in, league games up until the last couple of weeks. They've not really had a time to have a sit down and a rest. We can give them one here on the international stage, I feel like, now. Anyway, Walker with the ball in the wide area. Oh my word, I mean, that's a lovely finish by Trent Alexander-Arnold, isn't it? 5-0, it's getting a little embarrassing. I will just stress, Armenia were second in the group. That doesn't mean they were the second best team in the group. Because obviously two of the better teams, the Czech Republic and Austria, had already played us, which had just guaranteed losses. But nice little bit of build-up play, bit of space. Alexander-Arnold slots it away. The big question is going to be, can we score more goals against Belarus? Now, Belarus have one insane centre-back regen, who I will make a point of showing you, because he's absolutely nuts. We've tweeted about him before. We've shown him in previous Towel or Town episodes. But it'll be interesting to see how he maybe shuts down Sonny Best. As Walker is through, should tuck it away, and well, he channels his inner Dylan Turnbull there. It remains 5-0. Sancho whips it in back post. Best is there! Oh, it's the first chance he's really had all game. And he heads it wide. Let's get a little bit shouty. Demand more from the players. I am not settling for only 5-0. Ooh, to Alexander-Arnold. Look at them. They're having their own little game in the centre midfield. Did it just flash lightning? Am I going crazy? There was definitely like a flash there. Aren't you meant to stop playing a football match if there's a thunderstorm? Like, ref, should we be pausing the game? I don't want my players getting electrocuted. Goal kick lumped forward by them. I mean, it'd be a bit of a shame if we were to lose our clean sheet after all of this, because it's been quite a good performance. We've not conceded yet in a World Cup qualifier. I would like to keep that record going for as long as we can. Anyway, Rice with it, plays it to Walker. Sonny, make the run. Look at him go. Look at the burst of pace. Mahon smashes it. Lovely finish. 6-0. Sonny Best still try. He can't actually keep up with the players even to celebrate. It's a sad state of affairs, isn't it, really? 6-0. We don't need to see the highlight of that. It'd be like watching a one-sided boxing fight again for the thrill of it. We don't need it. We don't need to witness a beating. Boys, I'm very, very pleased with that. Anyway, we've got a couple of days till the Belarus game. I am going to go away and I will join you guys in due course. Apparently, Fry's got injured. Disaster. But no, we'll jump forward to the game. It's 2 or 3 days away, but as you can see here, everyone loves us. We are the saviour of England. Of course, that will all completely change once we get to the World Cup and lose our first game in the group stage to some random nation. But anyway, Belarus, you're coming our way. We're playing at home. It's on a Monday night. Let's do this. Okay guys, so we are back for the game against Belarus. This is the team we're going to go with. A little bit of rotation. I'm actually wondering if I want to swap out my centre mids now that I've hit start recording. You know what? I think I will. I'm going to bring in Alexander-Arnold for Watson. And do I want to make another change? I feel like I probably should make the most of my squad, but I think we'll start with Hull. Centre mid is definitely the position where we just lack a little bit. Perhaps. But yeah, we're taking on Belarus today. They are not the best team in the world. Their world ranking is 120th. They have one good player. His name is Igor. I wish we'd signed him when I tried to sign him. If you don't know, I tried to get this guy for £39 million a couple of seasons ago. He didn't want to join us then at Towlaw. So I've got a bit of a grudge against him. Let's hope he doesn't completely shut down Sonny Best, who, as I've already mentioned, this is going to be his last ever game. Let's see if he can put all 5 of his finishing, all 6 of his composure, and all of that pace in his locker to good use one last time. But I'm going to be honest, I'm not expecting him to score. If he does, fan-bloomin'-tastic. Let's see how we get on, though. One thing that I have obviously been doing in the last few days, it's only been a few days since the previous match, but I'm very busy in the transfer window sorting stuff out for Towlaw. It has, the last couple of days, made me a little nervous for next summer, where we're going to be in the World Cup, and I'm going to be managing Towlaw. There's going to be a bit of a juggling of duties, perhaps, between managing the England national team in the world's biggest competition, and also just the challenge, really, of doing our transfer business and stuff like nothing else is going on, and as if it's the only focus that I have. But anyway, let's see how we get on against Belarus. I'm hoping for a good little result here. We are playing in our away kit today, despite being at home. That feels like that should be illegal. I guess Belarus have 2 kits that are a bit clashy with ours. Anyway, good win to Lemmer. Now with Hall, who dinks it forward to Walker. I mean, Sonny Best is there. Give it to Best. Give it to Best. That's Turnbull. Wrong player. I mean, he scored, so I shouldn't be mad. I have started Dylan Turnbull today. You may notice. He was surprisingly fresh despite starting the previous match. That might have been down to the fact that he was subbed off after 30 minutes. But at least he hasn't wasted an opportunity in the early stages of this game. Why can he... I mean, it's basically from the penalty spot, I suppose. Only just crept into the bottom corner. It's 1-0 here against Belarus. Come on, Sonny Best. Of course, I want to continue to extend our amazing clean sheet record that we currently have. That's definitely got to be a side aim of this qualifying campaign. Could we go the entire campaign without conceding? That feels like a bit of a tall order. Wolverton, I thought it was just going to hit Sonny Best and go in. It falls to Turnbull. Only 14 minutes gone, and we're already penning them in their own half. Good wins there. Could he get it to Best? He whips it back post. Wolverton heads over. You wazzock. That's a great opportunity to hit the target. 5 shots, we've hit the target once. That's slightly concerning. As Dylan Turnbull leaps like a salmon, hits the woodwork. And while they do manage to get it away, Dylan Turnbull is going to look at these kind of qualifying games against lesser opposition. And I mean that in the nicest possible way to any Belarusian viewers, but I feel like you should be expecting Turnbull to inflate his goal-scoring tally for England just a little bit in these kind of matches. Anyway, Pavlov here, out on the wide areas, lumps it forward. Lemmer wins the header. I mean, I shouldn't get too carried away here, because it is only 1-0 still. There is still a job to be done here as Walker drifts inside, now with Ali Hall, who marauders on forward. Lays it wide to Wolverton. Now with Finn, who whips it in towards Sonny Best, who dummies it, leaves it for Walker, and he smashes wide. I mean, I'm going to get shouted. It's half an hour gone and they're having a corner. What is this? Lemmer heads it out, fortunately. I'm going to get a bit shouty. Could we launch a counter-attack? No. No, we can't. I was half expecting Sonny Best to be there. If he was there, he wasn't quick to the ball. Anyway, Wolverton bringing it forward. An attempted slide tackle on him is failed. Now with Sonny Best, got a player on his overlap. Look at the ball to Goodwin. Could we get a second goal here? Kind of need it just to settle my nerves a little bit. Worth noting, Best is on penalties, if you were wondering. Wolverhampton back post heads it. Sonny Best, oh, he's put it wide. Apparently it looks easier to score than miss, and I'm inclined to agree. Oh, that's the best chance he's ever had in an England shirt. I think it was against the Czech Republic. He did actually hit the woodwork. I mean, it's only 1-0 at the break. We've had 20 shots and only 5 on target. Sonny Best, you've got 45 minutes left of your England career, my friend. I'm going to bring in Sancho for Wolverhampton, who is struggling a little bit for fitness. But 45 minutes left. I could do with another goal just to make things comfortable, because whilst it remains like this, I will be forever fearful that they might just get a smash and grab draw against us. Anyway, Walker could give it to Sonny Best. Could, of course, go on his own. Does go on his own. Save Turnbull. What are you doing? I have a love-hate relationship with Dylan Turnbull. It's become more hate than love, I feel like, in the last season. Anyway, Hall with the ball here. Still time for Turnbull to turn it around, of course. We still love him deep down inside. Hall squares it to Alexander-Arnold, who already scored one, and this time hits the crossbar as the shot whizzes over, of course. He came on off the bench last game, Alexander-Arnold, to score. Gave him a chance to start today's game and get a goal or two. That's the closest he has come, and the fact that we're seeing that as a highlight makes me feel like we need to craft out better chances as we're breaking through here. Hall on his lonesome. Can he score? No, their keeper in goal is having an insane match. 2 clear-cut chances, 3 half chances, 26 shots. We've scored 1. It's. I wonder how big of a factor Sonny Best is in our conversion percentages. Anyway, Hall to Sancho, whipped in. Walker is not getting there. Goal kick to Belarus. An hour gone. I'm going to get shouty again. I feel like I have to, don't I? He is the worst player on the pitch, but I'm not taking him off. Sonny Best. I don't want to, put too much pressure on you here, friend, but you've got half an hour left of your England career. Potentially half an hour left of your actual footballing career to get a goal for us. There he is on the ball, giving it back. Get up. Come on, Sonny, you can do it. Run, run, run. If I shout run, he'll move quicker. That's how it works. Anyway, nice build-up play here in the early stages. Out on the left, Shirley. Yeah, goes there. Sancho now. Maybe going to look to put in a ball hand while he does. That was a weird goal, wasn't it? Dylan Turnbull's first effort was blocked. It fell straight back to him. Second goal of the day for him. Helping out with his goals-to-game ratio for England for sure. Sancho's going to feel robbed that he doesn't get an assist here. But finally, we do have a second goal. It's been coming, hasn't it? That would be a little bit of an understatement, perhaps, to say it's been coming. We've been all over Belarus here. And finally, I was going to say we make it show on the scoreline. I feel like 2-0 doesn't really show that you're all over a team, does it? Anyway, very attacking. We've got a little bit of time left. We've already done a load of shouts. There's not much more I can do here. I've done everything in my power to get Sonny Best a goal. I feel like our best chance now is a penalty. Sancho to Smith. What can he do? Crosses it in. Jude Bellingham's there. Finn Smith with the ball to the back post. And it's 3-0 now. We're in cruise control. Come on, Sonny. Come on, Sonny. You can do it. Never before have I wanted something to happen so badly in Football Manager. Well, Bellingham adds a goal to his collection. And there's still time. There's still time. I'm not giving up hope, everyone. The great news is it's going to be 4 wins and 4 in our World Cup qualifying campaign. But I want Best to get a goal. Bellingham, I thought he was going to square it. Nope, of course he's not going to square it. He's gone on his lonesome and squandered a great opportunity. We have 5 minutes left. Come on, Sonny. It's not happening, is it? I've made my peace with the world. I've made my peace. Lemmer heads it over. I thought for a second a penalty was going to be given. It feels like that was the only way Sonny Best was ever going to get a goal for England. It's a sad end, I feel like, to the Sonny Best tale. But I feel like we need closure at some point. I mean, could he get an assist? No. No, he couldn't. 3-0. 3-0. I mean, I'm pleased with it on the one hand. On the other hand, there's one player who I'm a little bit disappointed by. He got a 6.7 on the day. It's a good win for us. Austria and the Czech Republic drawing is actually a really, really good result for us. Let's just have a look at our qualifying group here. So you can see here we are now 5 points clear of a lot of the teams. We have still got Andorra to play. Oh, do I bring him back for Andorra? I mean, Andorra's probably the one game where he's almost guaranteed a goal. Let me know what you think. Do I have to continue to try and get him a goal? That's not to say I will commentate the Andorra game, to be clear, because I don't want to commentate a 9-0 spanking, but I am now sat thinking it might be the one way that we can get Sonny Best a goal before he retires, and I'm pretty sure at this point he is just going to retire as soon as we stop calling him up for England, which, I mean, it will be a sad day, won't it? I'm guessing he's still not... No, he still doesn't want to join us. It's been a year. It's been a year and he still doesn't want to join us. Anyway, Dylan Turnbull got a couple of goals, which is great to see. 6 goals in 8. Could have been 7 in 8 if he'd scored a penalty. Not that I'm bitter, but, well, things are going pretty well here at England. I feel like now we've got our team together. I feel like we've got a system that works, that kind of suits our players. We're getting a lot out of the players in our system as well, which is great to see. And it looks like we are going to be going to a World Cup next summer, which, whilst it's expected, it's nice to be doing it in the manner that we are right now. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up everything from me today. I have now got to go and play a very, very busy pre-season with Town Town. Hopefully, I will have it all wrapped up to bring you the start of season number 15 tomorrow. If I don't, there will be a community post and I will tweet out about it, just to let you know that there may not be an episode or there may be something slightly different going on. It's worth saying, I guess, if you've made it to the end and you don't already follow me on Twitter, @WorkTheSpace. It's the place to be. There's lots to see. And I'm done with this episode 120... I was going to say 123. It's 128. That doesn't rhyme with everything else I've just said. I'm not a poet, am I? Right, let's wrap things up here. Thank you so much for your support as always. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little distraction from club football with some England World Cup action. I'll see you again soon. It's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.